So
Hey guys.
Hey, welcome back.
Probably the worst guy to introduce everybody right now. Hey,
What's up? Thanks for joining us. Yeah.
So like,
I see most of you have not hit subscribe, like, and
we're so close to 100. Cool. We're so close.
Yeah, help us out. Cam agreed that he would shave his head at 100. So we got.
I think you did agree on that, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, John. John agreed.
No, Rogers did because Rogers has a head of beautiful hair that I think needs to go.
I'll shave my head at 1 million.
I'll shave my head at 1 million.
At 1 million, okay. Let's just do a trio thing. Let's all shave our heads at 1 million. I'm not doing.
I'm not doing this shit. I'm sorry. I took it.
You want to do it?
Nah,
dude. No.
I'll get circumcised. How about that? At 1 million, I'll get circumcised on camera. How about that?
On camera, okay.
Damn.
A little blurring, and I think we can make that happen. Yeah.
I think so too. Like the Chinese.
Are you really not circumcised?
Go to Patreon.
I am circumcised.
You are circumcised.
I'll re-circumcise. Like some people redo their vows.
Double dip.
Going back a second.
He's gonna pull off even more skin. He's gonna fucking take the head off or some shit.
Not my 0.25.
I need that.
I need that. That's what makes me
just
special.
sand it off. That's horrible. Ooh.
So, talking about sanding, we were just talking about that, me and a buddy, not about sanding our dicks.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
So, when I got my ABO card for the first time, I was 18, and I went to go get it. I got my fingerprints done and everything, and then they called me back in because they changed the age that you could have it to 21. And I had to redo it. So I went back in there, and they were like, we have fingerprints of someone else that matches on file. And I was like, no, you don't. It's me. It's me. And they're like, I don't know. And so they brought me back, and I had to do a full background test and all this thing, or background check.
Just to get your ABO? Dude,
I was like, I'm not a criminal mastermind. I'm not going in and fucking shaving down my fingerprints to get my fucking ABO card. So stupid.
You don't know who to trust, bro. Jeffrey Dahmer didn't look like the guy he was. He looks creepy, but
I will say, every time, almost every time that I've been to the police station, it's been for a good reason. There was I lost my wallet at Stoner Park, right? And some amazing good Samaritan, way better than me, drove it up to the police station, and they called me. And they were like, hey, someone dropped off your wallet. And I was like...
Oh, the cash was still in there? Did you have cash in there?
I didn't have cash in there, but it was...
That's probably why they took it.
Yeah, they're like, fuck!
Nah, it's not worth anything.
Yeah, but...
What would you have done in that situation if the tables were turned?
What, if I found somebody's wallet?
If you found somebody's wallet, let's do a little morality test here. What would you guys do? Say you find a wallet. Say it has $1,000 in cash. Put a good amount. I could use a gram. That's a good amount for me. I think
every time I found a wallet, and I have found a wallet with cash, I have turned it in.
You have turned it in.
Yeah.
So easy to say. I'm the type of person, if I can attach this item to someone, I'm gonna do my due diligence. I do believe in karma or anything you want to say, it comes back.
Absolutely.
So if I cannot connect it, of course, mine.
Yeah, okay, that's good. I've never been in a situation, I've never found anybody's stuff out in public that had a tie to them or a wallet or anything like that. So I've never actually been in that situation, but definitely if there's no way of finding out whose it was, if there's no ID in there or something, and there's $1,000, at that point, I'm taking it.
Damn,
but if
no ID,
if there's no ID, I mean, come on, you got to have an ID in your wallet.
Yeah, that's tough.
Because at that point, it's that's karma for not having your ID. Somebody told you to put your ID in your wallet. I know it. I'm gonna do the due diligence of 13.
No.
Dragging that shit.
I love how at least once an episode, Sly has to look at me and say, no. It's like, it's so fucked up. But it's kind of no, I can't say that. I can't say that. It's kind of like, when a mom is walking through the mall and she has a special needs.
No, we're gonna stop there.
I'm not getting counseled.
Back to the wallet thing. If there was $1,000 with an ID. I'd probably just like Facebook the person.
What if the person whose idea was retarded? Had $1,000.
They don't know what to do with it.
No.
Not the right answer? No.
Dude, okay, so somehow I found myself on a bad part of Instagram, right?
Somehow.
Yeah.
I created that algorithm for myself.
Yeah, I did, for sure. And it said, down with the cake. And it was like this just caked up Down syndrome girl. I swear, it was a thirst trap. Did
you get thirsty?
Down with the cake.
Thirsty?
But what's funny is all of her videos, like, she was like, would you still? And like, I was like,
no, dude, there's like,
oh shit,
there's like, they do that, bro. Like they do that with special needs people and with midgets too, bro. Like, have you seen the midget models?
Small people.
No, I think they.
Last time we were here and we talked about midgets, I was told that there's midget wrestling.
They condone that word.
Okay.
For the public.
Small people, midgets.
Their parents probably don't like it. They're not a midget.
You know,
It's not a midget. She's like, I'm a midget.
You're shorty. She is shorty.
She's a little shoddy.
Make it sound cool. A little shorty. She all right.
Dude, okay, so that is a thing though. Like black guys love some little shotties. You know what I mean? Like some little, you know, as long as they're like, even if they're not caked up, they're like, oh, they're drooling. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so
especially white girls.
I'm confused.
Huh?
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm following. I know exactly
what I'm saying is like, I'm saying you guys, y'all don't see nothing, man. I love it.
Oh, like they're not discriminating even if she's a shorty.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah.
It's a compliment. It really is.
That's what you're saying. Yeah, black men probably known to do the most venturing of any other fucking
yeah,
race.
very venturous. Yeah.
Like, man, look, who am I to tell anybody they can't do a thing?
Yeah.
That's probably what that's all about. We can't tell nobody what we not gonna do, and then everybody else is like, you know, point fingers at them for being drawing lines and shit. So, yeah, black men are the most venturous. So, even in jail.
I respect that.
Huh?
Fair enough.
I said I respect that. I do. Now, skinny white guys, like toothpick skinny white guys, I would argue more venturous. I would argue they gotta get what they can get. You know what I mean? Like at least you guys, you know, like big buff black dude, you know, like he's got the pick of the litter. he's going after that with this.
Absolutely. You know, I've had my fair share of dating black girls, and there's been a couple times where in public I'll see like a scrawny white dude with like just a caked up thick ass black girl, and I'm just like, so this is what they see when they look at me. Like I was definitely nowhere near as like small as this guy was, but I still just looked at him like, I hope that's not what people look at me like, you know. That's what black men mean when they say, what you gonna do with all that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what, you can't even handle it. Like, I started looking at it, I was like, damn, that's like me looking at myself from the outside. I'm like, ugh, brother, ugh. Sorry, it was. I'll shut up.
What do you have to say about that kid?
Are we still on the wallet, or we may went to the big girl?
My bad, bro. Dude, in the first 5 minutes, we talked about Down syndrome and fucking, I don't know, bro.
You talked about it. I ain't talking about nothing.
There ain't nothing wrong with talking about it. Bringing awareness, man. Bringing awareness.
I do wonder.
Actually, also, I looked at, my bad. Keep your thought. I found out suicide. You can actually say that on YouTube. It has to be in it's the context in which it's used. So if I were to tell one of you to do something like that, that would automatically be
no.
Yeah, like it would get taken down, it would get flagged or whatever it's called. But as long as we're talking about it in a context of like the same concept we were talking about in the other episode where we did that, it's completely fine.
Does YouTube AI like know the difference? Like, do you think they pick up on that?
Well, what I think it is I think
if they pick it up, they're
I think what they have is
no money for you.
And I could be completely wrong because we haven't ran into an issue with anything getting taken down yet.
Well, we haven't worried about monetization either, so
that as well. But I feel like though the AI bots would check it.
What you think about over there?
And then they would they would mark it, but I think a human has to make the final decision. I think.
You hope.
I also know, I think Zuckerberg was talking about that with Facebook and stuff, or with Meta, how he's going to make it to where that's what the whole thing, that there was this big issue around the elections and everything with the marking things as misinformation, taking down people's stuff, and then it started seeming like they were leaning one way, only taking down like conservative people's stuff and all that. He addressed this on Joe Rogan, and then he addressed it publicly by himself. And that his approach was going to be kind of like backing off the AI, because it's kind of like a gate. Like you tell it, this is bad, but there's like a window as to how bad is it? Is it take down bad? You know, teaching a robot how to know those things. And then they're going to have I think it's like another authentication where it's basically, it would go to a human after that to verify whether or not it's bad or good. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of robots, I had a huge crush on My Life is a Teenage
My
Robot.
Life is a Teenage Robot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I feel like I
robot,
know what this is, but I don't know.
It was Nickelodeon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a crush on her for some reason.
I can respect that, man. I respect that. Do y'all have any like
Cartoon crushes?
crushes?
Oh
yeah.
my god. Kim Possible?
Cartoon.
Ooh,
Yeah, bro. I was about to say.
Every girl on Kim Possible.
Yeah.
The
animators knew what they were doing.
Yeah, bro. Teenage Titans. Bro.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
yeah.
On some
Starfire?
cosplay shit. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
Starfire. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Even Raven with a little
yeah, dude.
What was underneath that? You know,
That one thing when she did when she was making Beast Boy like drool at his mouth, bro. She was showing that leg. I was like,
Yeah.
God!
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
Who's the girl from Danny Phantom?
Oh yeah.
What's her? What was
The popular girl or the goth girl?
the goth girl, bro? The goth girl for sure.
Yeah.
Hey,
Nobody
guys.
knows her name. Nobody knows.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Either way, if you were there, you know who we're talking about.
Is it weird that like I found the Kanker sisters from Ed, Ed and Eddie, like a little.
The ones that you saw be trying to kiss on them and shit.
Yeah. I was like,
Oh,
damn, they're straightforward. They're like,
Well, you
trying
like
to
what
get
they were
to it.
doing. They were freaks.
yeah.
Yeah.
You were like, if I was in that situation, wouldn't be no running. I get that.
Yeah.
Like, I know exactly where you're finna go with this.
He's sitting there questioning, like, why they, what? No.
Why y'all running so
Why
much?
they
Take it on the chin. Take it on the chin. Like,
Nah,
yeah,
they're trying to get a hold of their ass.
Trying to get a little smooch, man.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. What?
No, and there's a couple moms from.
Oh, dude.
No, listen.
This is incredible.
Ooh,
Bro.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck. I forgot about that one.
Come
we
on.
all know.
Okay.
Come on.
Anyways, yeah, that's a good one. But like in certain shows where like they did it with the parents, but like they would have it to where
Super
you
hot with no
see
head,
the
yeah.
head and you just see the body, and sometimes like the mom would be.
I know where y'all going with this.
Well, Powerpuff Girls, the mayor's
Yes.
assistant or whatever.
Oh,
Yes.
She had a body.
And he was tiny.
With that long hair.
Yeah.
And like and then women get mad at us for sexualizing. I'm like, look,
I grew up with this.
they literally didn't give me the option to see the face of. You could have animated the face in there, right?
Okay.
Animated the face, moved the camera up a little bit when they come into frame. No, they said no face, no case,
Straight body.
boom, straight body.
They knew what they were
Which is,
doing. That's not good for a kid's show, but they did it.
Yeah.
So let's think about this. Dexter's mom from Miss Incredible, who was curvier. Can't believe I'm saying this on camera.
Yeah.
Now remember, I know
Dexter
one is not 3D, but remember Dexter mom was hunched over damn near.
All the time.
them goddamn heels.
Bacon. She was baking all the time.
Like the waist is this small, and then the ass is like Bumblebee. I
don't know if I can speak on just like curvier, but like Miss Incredible, like she was
She
flexible,
definitely-
bro. Like
she was flexible.
she could do anything, bro. Like anything, bro.
I ain't finna go deep into that conversation on camera. And they be like, hey, bro.
Miss Incredible.
She could find it and reach it easily.
I could be hitting it and we could get the good
at the same time, bro. Oh my god.
You know, when you answer some shit too fast, everybody be like, you already were thinking about this shit, weren't you? You answered it way too fast. I'm like, let me think.
Yeah.
What had happened was, Deja Vu, we had a conversation like this before.
Do we?
Similar to this. You like answering too fast is just suspect.
Oh, yeah.
Deja Vu.
Yeah.
It'll come back what we're talking about. Deja Vu. But Yeah, Dexter's mom, man. I remember,
Yeah, she
like,
was-
now on the memes today, everyone is kind of talking about that. It was like, she really was yammed up. Always
Yammed
washing
up.
dishes. I was like, damn, she was.
I was washing dishes.
They knew what they were doing, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, they knew.
Now that I look back, and there was a lot of adult jokes in the movies and TV shows that we watched that
For
I just
sure.
never caught.
Never caught on.
There was a couple times where I'd be watching something and I'm paying attention. My mom's like on her phone doing whatever, and I don't laugh, but like she'll randomly laugh at something. And then as a kid, I look back and I'm like, it was only because I didn't understand because I wasn't old enough to get it.
Well, they're smart because like they know what. Okay, if you create a movie for 7-year-olds, right?
Mhm.
One, you're not dropping a 7-year-old off at the movie theater.
They're
to
gonna be
watch it,
supervised,
right? Yeah, the parents are going to be with them,
Yeah.
Right.
so you got to make it at least a little bit entertaining.
Yeah.
For like
For the adults. Yeah,
the
that's
other
true.
day, my sister was absolutely in love with Tangled, right?
Mhm.
And
I forgot about Tangled.
we rewatched Tangled, and there was like some funny innuendos in there that she was like, it was her. Like she said, I got to go see the lights, the lanterns, right? Because they do it every time on my birthday, right? And he was like, you know, Flynn Rider was like, oh yeah, what's your birthday? And she's like, I'm turning 18. And there was like, he goes, like, I was like, damn. I was like, yeah, he was like,
Oh, shit.
But then as a kid watching these things, we don't
Yeah.
get it.
We're like,
It just
whatever.
completely flies over our head.
yeah, honestly, the mom from Tangled, like
I think I only watched Tangled once.
the like obviously now when
Yes,
she
old
turns
too.
old again, you know, she was like the witch
Oh,
who
okay,
was
okay,
keeping her
okay.
around
Yeah,
I don't
because
remember too well.
he had to have her hair. I didn't remember much of it too, and I had to watch it so many times with my sister, but I don't remember much of
Yeah.
it. Right?
Wasn't that intrigued?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the mom.
Mom was.
I'll have to go check her out.
I really think
I'll do my
like,
research after the show.
You know, and it's funny that we talked about like you know, I feel like this generation specifically, we have like a thing for goth girls. Like, you know what I mean? We're like, oh, give me a big titty goth girl or like a big booty goth girl.
You know what's weird about that?
Do you not? Do you know?
I've not seen one, like on the internet, I have not seen one of those around here yet.
Oh, like a.
Around here?
Like just like a super badass goth girl. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, yeah. They're out there, I promise.
They're out there.
And, but I think what I'm saying is our interest in that came from the cartoons we
Yeah,
watched. Because
yeah.
everybody was like a
Out
goth
the
girl,
way,
man.
quiet, and you like she actually kind of cute, but nobody
Yeah,
notices.
yeah.
That's
And then there's the whole assumption that like the quiet girls are the freakiest ones too. Like I think that also became a thing as well.
Yeah.
You learn that as you get older. There's the one that's quiet that's gonna turn you every way but loose.
Yeah.
And like
I love when
Boosie
people say
said,
that.
if they wear glasses, she take those glasses off, you finna get around for your money. I think that stands true. Most
Have you
people-
ever met a girl that looked better with the glasses? Like when she takes it off, it's just like I met a few.
I don't know any names, but
I
yeah.
have. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, no, don't. I'm not naming anybody.
cuter with glasses?
Yeah.
If someone looks good with glasses, they normally look good in general, and a glass is just an accessory. So that's kind of that's different.
Usually, but I there is one. I don't know. I feel like I have. It may be the adjusting, especially if you meet somebody and they have glasses when you meet them, to where you kind of already have that as what they look like. Kind of like if you just shaved your beard, like that's gonna be weird for me to adjust to.
Yeah.
I met a
for sure.
girl where she had like really thick glasses, and it made her eyes look normal size. And then when she took them off, it was like little beads in her head. I was like, like it amplified it a little bit. I was like, you look,
That.
yeah.
Right.
Like,
Little
Doctor knew what he was doing.
yeah.
Doctor was like, "Ooh, you need some you need some magnification
Yeah.
glasses." Yeah.
Frames are everything. Everything.
You gotta find the right frame, man.
Cause some girls with a like oversized lens, I'm like, she actually look nice with that. You know, hairstyle and accessories, everything.
And a lot of girls wear fake glasses, bro. My sister got onto that wave. The whole wearing fake glasses.
Fake glasses. I got some fake glasses, man.
Really?
I don't really wear them too much. I guess.
I don't know. That was never a way for me, but I guess some people just thought it was.
I mean, if you feel like you look good in glasses. And
Yeah,
you don't need
absolutely.
them,
That I guess that would have gone well in the episode with Slive when you asked about like popular things that That would have been something I could have brought up. It was like
Glasses.
people wearing these
We
fake
should
glasses.
forget that episode.
Yeah.
Really?
Glasses are a great accessory, like used for people who has like
never gonna
darkness
forget
around
it.
their eyes. You know, see people have redness around their eyes or darkness around their eyes. Glasses, I think, takes away from that.
Mhm.
I used to want to wear shades and glasses because I have like eye bags, like genetically.
Mhm.
So I got to the point I don't like that look though.
Kid, do you wear sunglasses inside?
Fuck no. I don't
Really?
even like shades.
I feel like that's
They're-
crazy.
You did that. You wore them
Oh,
here.
I don't know. Yeah,
Maybe
I
that's
don't
what- maybe that's why.
He's
Maybe that's
remembering
why.
that. Sorry.
because I feel like I'm just making an assumption right now, but I could see you being the type.
I
of
was
guy
trying
that-
to be cool that day.
walking superior with some sunglasses. And we talked about this on the X's as well. I mean, maybe walk in as long as you
I
remove
feel like
them.
it's a douchebag.
As long as you remove them. The thing is, you can come in the building. I'm not expecting you to take off your sunglasses before you come in the building, right?
You roasted the toe for wearing glasses in here.
You did.
You were like,
I know, no,
you were
no,
like,
I
don't
really
have
didn't,
a connection with you.
I
was
really
like,
didn't,
can't-
though.
I can't look you in the
No,
face.
I really said that to Casey when she put hers on, because the toe I was like, I kind of like it, but I kind of don't, because I made sure that I specified I usually don't like when people wear sunglasses inside or when they're talking to me, because it feels like, if you need more, I got some right here. It feels like I'm not connected to you. I can't see your eyeballs. My dad taught me look somebody in their eye when you're talking to them. So I didn't go at the toe specifically. When Casey followed up and put on her glasses, and then you followed, I was like, all right, now y'all are fucking assholes. Take them off. But for him, it was like with them off, I'm like, put them. It made sense. It made sense. Put them back on. But I don't like when I work at the bar. I didn't like when people would come in and they're talking to me and they're kind of just looking all around. They got glasses on. I can't see where their eyes are at. They're completely not looking at. I don't know. I mean, it's obviously nothing I'm gonna throw a fit over, but it's still just, it irks me a little bit. I'm just kind of like.
I did get our first request
Uh-oh.
Really?
on what topic we need to talk about.
Okay.
Yep.
What was that?
Do you want to shout out who gave it to you? Was it
It was close to home.
close to home?
Close to home.
Cool.
It was a family member.
Cool. Let's keep it there.
It was down the hallway, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
It was the janitors.
what do y'all think about the Elon Musk
The salute
the
thing?
salute?
That's
Dude,
a good fucking
What do you
topic.
think about that?
So, I think he was just like overexcited, man. He didn't know what to do. Like he was just like, and then I ain't gonna catch me. He ain't gonna get my ass.
Yeah.
But I think he's just like overexcited, man.
I think. Go ahead.
If you, I have like some pictures. I'll send them to you and show you.
Okay.
Of like other politicians, Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton, they all have done that.
Yeah. In a
That's-
different manner.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
And
It's
just
not
done.
like
And then there's also videos of Elon just being Elon.
Mhm.
That was what I saw. And when I look at Elon, he's weird. Everybody knows he's weird. He even knows he's weird. He's an awkward, strange guy, smart as shit, highly respectable.
Yeah.
But he does awkward shit.
Mhm.
That's not the only awkward thing he did. The reason it was blown up out of proportion to me is because of the fashion of which he did it. People looked at it like compared to Hitler, and I would not at all. First off, it wasn't Hitler's shit. That it definitely was not that. If you actually look at the video,
Yeah.
So it was not a replica of that. And I think I'd agree with the same thing. I think it was excitement. I think that you could see it on him too. You could see it in his face. He was excited. He felt good. He did it. And when he did it, what he said, my heart goes out to you.
Yeah.
And he reached in his heart. I mean, I personally am an Elon fan. I think that Elon is good for society overall. I think that there's nothing he's done that I would even try to really just tear him down. I think people are just looking for, this is what happens after elections. This happens every time. You're gonna get attacks on the losing side, the winning side. It's a two-party system. So you're always gonna have that. And I feel like that's really what it is. It's just people trying to blow it out of proportion.
Feel that. Do y'all feel like that hand gesture, it obviously wasn't created by the Nazi Party? I'm very sure it was used before historically.
Yeah.
Is there any other gesture that we understand where that comes from?
So they call it the Roman salute, right?
Yeah. The Roman salute.
But the Roman salute, it has not been proven historically that they used it. It was in paintings and stories after the fall of the Roman Empire. They claim that was a sign of respect, specifically within the ranks and political power. So it was kind of the same thing. It was similar to my loyalty is to you. That's what it was a sign of respect, right? They don't know if they actually used it. They don't know that. Before that's the history kind of leading up to that. Now I'm on the bandwagon of I don't think that's what he meant. Okay. But I'm gonna play some devil advocate here. Okay. Elon has not made a statement saying it is not that. Okay. Not that he has to, but I think it's good if you have this amount of backlash towards something to be like, hey man, hey, it would be as simple as, I mean, he fucking owns Twitter.
I was gonna say,
You know what I mean?
he's super quick to tweet.
It takes 2 seconds to say I got excited.
Yeah.
That's not what it meant.
Right.
You know, it takes 2 seconds to do that and put all this to bed. The fact that he hasn't done that, I think, is kind of stupid.
Have we looked into that? Has anybody checked his ex? Because
he's not said anything about that from at least today.
But so did you check? Did you check his actual page?
So Lizzie did. This was a conversation that we had, and again, this is me playing devil's advocate, but I'm
Absolutely.
I don't think that
you
that's
stated
what he
your
was doing.
ground. Yeah.
Yes, I don't think
the reason I was bringing that up is just because if he did say something, that's why I'd want to go look myself, because I feel like even if he did say something, this is kind of one of those things where if you're on the right sources, you will find out that he said something.
Drag it,
but they're not going to even acknowledge. If you're trying to take down Elon, especially he sided with Trump, so obviously anybody who's anti-Trump is now anti-Elon, you know, at least most of them. So they wouldn't want you to see that.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head perfectly in saying that Elon, I think he is somebody that we need. We need more of Elon when it comes to his innovation, he's just gifted. He's very gifted.
Absolutely.
He's gifted in, business, he's gifted in tech, he's gifted, he's providing humanity, I think, moving us in the right direction of where we need to be, hopefully. With that being said, Elon also, the problem that I think with not clearing the air with that is it currently is inciting the wrong people, the people that actually do that salute.
Yeah.
Right? It's making them go, fuck yeah. They're on our side.
You're starting to get the wrong people.
That.
Yeah.
And, we had this talk yesterday. Me and Lizzie were in the shower having a conversation, and we have some of the best talks in there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so we're talking in the shower, and I was like, she goes, when do you think freedom of speech becomes dangerous? And to me, as a patriot, and I prefaced that with her too. I said, I am a patriot. I believe in this country. She's talking about wanting to move away from the country because of all the scariness that's happening with her, and I was like, I understand where you're coming from. I was like, but unless I am seeing, some really bad signs, I'm gonna stick with my nation.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? I am an American.
But there's certain things that would push you to the point of making that call. Something like that.
It was a long discussion. I'll bullet point it real quick, but it was. There's always been either a social class or a race of people or nationality of people that have been blamed for everything. And this isn't just America, that's everywhere in history.
Absolutely.
Right? You've got the Jews, you have Africans, you have the Italians, you have even the Irish, right? They've always been blamed. One group has been blamed for the problems of what's going on. The thing that would scare me is kind of hearkening back to the biggest sign of this, which was World War II, Nazis, is if you start getting a specific race of people have to carry around saying that they're available, that they're here, they're allowed to be here. If the businesses start getting higher taxes for using that specific nationality's place of business, I think that's bad. They did the same thing. America did the same thing to the Japanese during World War II. We were scared of spies being here. So every person that was Japanese or of Japanese descent, didn't matter if you were born here or not, you had to let that be known.
Yeah.
Right? And the places of businesses that they ran was, all the way up until they got put into camps, is what I'm trying to say.
I got you.
So I think there's definitely some signs that you can look for based on previous history of like, oh, shit probably is starting to get bad. And then when those signs come up, that's the only time that I would start talking about. Because right now I have a family that, is involved with the targeted demographic, right? That sucks. That sucks really bad. And it would affect me directly. You know what I mean? So if I thought for any reason that Lizzie or her family, my family would be taken away from me, I'm not going to keep her in a place like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Right, yeah.
That's my duty as a man.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, I think Elon has more power than he's had ever before.
Yeah.
And that comes with, not to be super lame here, but it comes with a lot of responsibility.
Absolutely.
That you now have an obligation to, if you are inciting the wrong people, you need to fix that. You need to fix that. And to go back into, not to harp on this too long, but to circle back around to my final point is, I think free speech is what the foundation of this country is built on, and not every country has it. I think we absolutely need it. I think if you want to be, and this is exactly what I told her, and I'm being honest about this, if you want to be a Nazi and you want to hate black people, or you want to hate a certain kind of race of people, right, you have your right to do that. You do. Here's the problem. When the moment, it's a very thin line that you walk. The moment that you incite other people into violence or yourself into violence, free speech is out the window. That's not okay. You can believe what you want to believe in, right? No one's going to take that away from you, and I don't think anyone should. I think everyone has their own right to have their own opinions and have their own fundamental beliefs, whether it's right or wrong, whether I agree with it or don't.
Yeah.
Right? But I think if you're hurting other people, or you're trying to bring other people down, or you're trying to limit those people because you think they're lesser than them, no.
Yeah, I think I completely agree with you on all that. I'm glad that you circled back around to the whole freedom of speech thing, because that's been a hot topic for a while now. Which, speaking on Elon one more time, that was one of the biggest things that I liked about Elon, was buying Twitter because of the censorship that he saw.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that was a good cause.
And to pause you on that, there's so much hypocrisy he's had with it, though. Like, if people are, like, he's banned words. He's banned...
Really?
Since he's taken over.
I don't use it anymore.
Yeah, like...
He has.
He does not want you talking bad about him or his company, or he will censor that. Yeah, he will censor that.
Okay, I'm learning something. I didn't know that he did that.
Yes.
I thought he made it completely open.
There's some hypocrisy there.
Okay.
Just a little bit. I'm not saying that he's telling, people exactly how to think or whatever. I don't think it's as bad as the previous Twitter.
Okay.
I think previous Twitter was getting out of hand,
Yeah.
where if there was a side they didn't believe in, they would bury that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think he does that, but I think it's a far-fetched to say that he's 100% free speech no matter what.
I got you. Okay, I'm glad that you spoke on that, because I like I said, I don't really use Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. I don't really use it. I used it when I was younger a little bit. It's just not really my platform. It doesn't do anything for me. But I think I really liked, I don't know if any of you seen Zuckerberg, his announcement to the public about his censorship that I was talking about. Did anybody else see that or no?
I saw something on it.
Maybe like a little clip or something. Yeah. Okay. I liked his approach, because the way that I look at it is...
Tell us a little bullet point about it. Like, What did he say?
It was basically what I said earlier. So it was basically that when he touched on it, he was saying through these elections, like obviously a lot of people have felt like we were saying with Twitter, like how they would bury one side or whatever. So Zuckerberg basically said the way we had it set up was a system to where things got flagged because of such and such, which if he were able to moderate that just like one by one, a lot of those things wouldn't have got taken down. But when you have such a big system and you have so many posts that are made so much, that's where he was kind of, and I understood where he was coming from. It made sense to me. Like, okay, yes, it's a very broad scale. In fact, I think Meta or Facebook is the #1 social platform still.
Yeah,
I want to say.
I believe so.
I think it has more active users than any other, even TikTok. TikTok's not even up to Instagram yet or something like that. It was crazy when I looked up those statistics. But anyways, he was basically saying that it was out of control like that, and he wants to have a better control over there's still some censorship because there's still certain things that shouldn't be said. You shouldn't be planning school shootings. You shouldn't be, planning an assassination on the president, things like that. There's things that should be taken down and censored.
Yeah.
But he's working on a better system that basically makes it to where that window has more grace, to where it's not just, oh, this person is saying something about Trump, boom, or whatever, or about whoever, take it down, whatever. It's not going to be that way. It's going to be what is the actual context of it. There's still going to be some things that slip through the holes, that, may wrongfully get taken down or may wrongfully stay up. But he's working on a system that would basically make that more balanced and not seeming so, because I think it was the conservative side in the past election in 2020 was saying that they felt like a lot of the conservative posts were getting taken down.
Yeah.
And I think that I saw some of that happening too. It seemed like everything that was Trump had misinformation planted on it, all kinds of stuff. So I'm glad that he's working on that and brought awareness to that and is actively working on a system that's gonna better that and fix it.
Well, I think social media as a whole is something that we have not had. We've always been social beings, right? Like it's always been public opinion is what matters the most, and whoever holds public opinion holds power.
Yeah.
Right. But I think this is the first time that we've ever had a system like this where you can hear so many voices in one place, and it's so important that algorithm, right, is genuinely what influences nations right now.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because that's our main outlet for news. That's our main outlet for hearing the voice of other people. Like, I think it's so important to have that balance. And again, it's so hard, because you're walking a razor's edge on, okay, if I stop somebody from being able to say one thing because, this is what they're talking about, which is, and you said school shootings and things like that. I feel like everyone can agree, yeah, we need to stop that.
Yeah.
But it's so easy can tip into, oh, well, now you're taking away gun rights. Now you're you won't let me talk about going to the range. You won't let me talk about, what are you trying to suppress me on? And this is the first time we're dealing with this.
Absolutely.
Never have we had this.
And I think we just have to.
Pains.
Absolutely. And I think that we have to have a fine line, like you said. Going back to what I said with the whole, we could all agree nobody should be posting on social media inciting riots or assassination attempts, anything like that.
Yeah.
We can all agree that is overall bad. There's no good to come of that, unless our government becomes tyrannical and we're just, we've got all kinds of, there's that out, but that's not the situation we're in right now. I think that there has to just be that line though, where we can all agree, like, okay, this stuff just shouldn't be able to be said. But okay, you spoke about guns. Okay, some people think we shouldn't have guns or all that stuff. To me, there's not a fine line in the gun argument of, there's arguments on both sides. That's one of those things that to me is like, you should be able to talk about guns. You should be able to talk about all of that, do whatever you want with that, as long as again, we're not doing the things that I previously mentioned, which is assassinations and things like that.
And yeah, it's the same thing. That's why I think your social presence is your voice now. And your freedom of speech is tied directly to that. I mean, perfect example. You look at back in 2016, 2015, when really the whole defund the police was going like really big, right? All of that was, even the narrative it was brought up on was not even correct. Like, it wasn't even like the and I'm not gonna name it, right? But like well, I will, because we can bring up that conversation. But like the George Floyd thing, that's really where all of that kind of started. I think, obviously it was happening before that, but it was like
that was one of those situations that put some lighter fluid on the fire that was already going.
Yeah,
a lot.
But then every instance was painted in this light of the police are doing the wrong thing, and even to this day, like there's incidents where it's like you go back and read the actual story, and you're like, that officer was justified. You know what I mean? Like, but it's a brutality thing because that's the way it's spun.
And that was where all that all cops are bad. That started really getting big and stuff, and that.
When did you join the force?
I came out of the academy of April 2024.
Okay.
Started January 2024 is when I was officially on paper as an employee.
I wanted to ask real quick. Were you? Because I know last time you were on, like we had talked about you getting in and stuff, and about if you wanted to talk about it. You're cool with us like talking about it?
I think ideally the way this work is, I can talk about law enforcement. I shouldn't talk about my agency.
Okay, beautiful.
So I represent law enforcement.
I just want to make sure that we can talk about whatever and just not.
No, it's all good.
Not bring
I
up
want to
anything
ask you about your personal, like the rhetoric that you've been around being a black officer. Like, is that something you dealt with? Where like, is it more prevalent with you being in the force? Have you seen it a lot around here?
Just making a year of employment, I haven't got that experience yet to go across all crazy scenarios. So I think it's gonna come. It's gonna come one day. I haven't got across that yet. But for the sakes of, I guess, just speaking on it, I haven't had much contact with white civilians, at least in the area I patrol. Shreveport was predominantly black. I'm usually in predominantly black neighborhoods, so often I have to deal with the guys in those neighborhoods being like, "Hey, man, like, come on, man, cut me a break. The other man might not do it." We get that. I do feel for the white officers. The Hispanics, there's not a lot of them we have. I can probably count on hand overall, but they don't usually get too much flack in this city.
You're talking about the Hispanics?
Yeah, the officers, they don't get much flack.
So you would say white officers get it?
Yeah, because people are fast to be like, man, that's a racist officer gave me a ticket, man. And it boils my blood, especially when I get to know my coworkers. I'm like, hey, man, like, cool that shit out. Like, I don't want to hear none of that black and white shit. I said, you have obvious violations, and you're mad he's not giving you a break on everything like you want. And a lot of times, most of us are ignorant, and we like to pull cards to try to catch a break, and it's not cool. Half the time, I don't know if it's going too far. Sometimes I have empathy for white people in America because it's so political. They can't avoid none of the bullshit people are throwing at them. Like, it's like the whole world's attacking at them for something that their ancestors have done. And I'm not gonna just deny the past. I'm not gonna deny if anything's going on today. There's some things that need to be addressed still that maybe is more hidden, but I don't like that political narrative of saying white officers only stopped me because I was a black person in a nice car. I've seen that in a city council meeting. He said you got stopped for being in a nice car, being a black man, and I was like, don't start that shit.
It's tricky because the problem is that there is officers that are that way. That's where the tricky part is. Me personally, my personal belief is that most cops are good. I think that from at least the ones I've met, I've never worked in I've never been a police officer. I've never been in that field at all. But just off of meeting them and talking to them, most officers I've talked to, I felt like we're genuinely good people.
Yeah.
But you do have the ones, and this is really what brings up the whole problem with the police situation, is you have like an agency or whatever that, like there was an agency, I think in like California or whatever, that had this incentive of getting black people or something like that. There have been those situations, and obviously we would all agree that's stupid. That we that's what gives a bad rep for the rest of the people. But I think I deal with a lot of artists. Obviously, most of my clients are black, and we have kind of these talks and stuff, and they worry about getting pulled over and stuff like that. But even with my white friends, I'm like, a lot of times, like most of them, it's like, what are you doing? What are you wearing? All these things kind of matter. If you're rolling around with a ski mask on in your car, like certain things are just like, I can't say it was because you were black, because I mean, even if you were white rolling around with a ski mask on and whatever, I'm like, you look suspicious. So, I think most of the cops are trying to do good. There's there's the few of them that generally either dislike black people or just think whites are superior, so they want to, only support whites and only pull over blacks, whatever, and all that. But I think the misconception comes from the small group, and that gets blown up to be a huge group, which is where all cops are bad came from.
Yeah.
Is people thinking, oh, cops don't like black people. Oh, boom. And we generalize. And that's bad with anything. With anything. We shouldn't generalize, but that happens a lot with cops, and it gives them a bad rep. I respect anybody who's a police officer in today's day and age, especially being black. I respect anybody, though, that wants to be an officer, because no matter what color you are, it gets a bad rep. You could be white, you're going to get a bad rep. You could be black, you're going to get a bad rep.
To say and I think I 100% agree with every point that you just made. I want to take it a step further. I think the actual problem that we have is not even at all the police officers. I think it comes down to and this is toted on, and when I say it, there's an immediate reaction that people have, but I really want to talk about, there is a systemic racist system in the judicial part of it. Like when you talk about judges, when you talk about sentences being handed down, and first-time offenders, it seems like it's not even, it seems like there's evidence that it is a harsher sentence gets laid down by your skin color, right? Or or where you're from, or so it's like, I think it sounds super messed up. I think it's gonna natural selection is going to kind of weed that out. I think as these older people, black and white, judges, attorneys, as they start to die off, and the less racist people come into power, I think it's gonna automatically fix itself.
Yeah,
it's gonna adjust.
It's gonna kind of bleed out a little bit.
Yeah, and I think right now we may not have that. It's not a huge, like the majority of the percentage of people. I don't think that's happening. I don't think the majority of judges are like that. Like you said, I think it's a very small percentage. But the people who have power in order to do that, I think they do. There's some racist tendencies there.
Absolutely. I've seen evidence of what you're talking about as well, and I totally agree, and I totally agree again with the it's gonna bleed out.
Yeah.
Because I just look at we still have grandparents that really didn't grow up around other races. Like I think we're seeing more and more of the racism going away slowly, and that's the thing, is a very slow process. But I think now
at least black and white.
Yeah.
At least black and
but
white.
It's so deep rooted that it makes sense. Like, of course it's gonna take a while. That's not something that's just gonna go away overnight at all.
400 years of that, so it's not gonna wash away just in the first
Yeah,
next generations.
Yeah, 2 generations.
Absolutely not.
400
That's
years.
really how
Because-
far away we are from it. Is we're only about a generation and a half away.
Right.
You
We
know.
are.
So, as the new generations come and as better teachings go on, as we get rid of I think we brought this up on the podcast before, but everybody should know racism is taught. It's not,
Yes.
you're not born racist. It's never a thing. You're taught to be racist.
You're not born hateful.
So the more that younger people who maybe come from a background of people who are prejudiced, who don't like another group of people, I think as the younger ones process and they're like, oh, there's nothing wrong with these. I don't care what you're saying. Like there's nothing wrong. As more of that happens, it's again a slow process, but over time it just bleeds out, and it's gonna start getting to where that teaching isn't. It's fewer and fewer people with that teaching because it becomes unpopular. It's already unpopular, so the people who are still like they probably live in small towns where it's easier to still kind of think that type of way. But
And there's always that line, man. Like you know, like I don't believe in cancel culture, but
yeah,
I think it did, as much as it pains me to say it, I think it did speed along the process of change that we're talking about, because it made people fearful of saying, oh shit, I maybe I need to change that, or
Yeah.
their kids would go to school and because they're watching all of these famous people getting canceled because of racism, it does incite a change. The problem is like, I have family members who are gay, I have friends who are gay. Not you, Slime. I'm just saying, I was talking to you, just
Yeah.
I
talking.
know that was
We accept you, but
it's all right, Sly. We got you.
no, Sly's, but
Sly's a very straight man. I
very
promise
straight
you.
man. Even though you can't get a girlfriend.
I choose not to.
Here we go.
He can't get a girlfriend, but he can get the girls. I've seen him. I'll
We don't have to talk about it.
Hey, I'm giving you cred, bro. I'm giving you cred right now, bro. Come on, man.
Appreciate it.
No, my point was though is like I think you can go a little too far where like if you have a group of minorities who and it doesn't like gay or trans rights, you know what I mean? I think you can. It's perfectly healthy to say I am who I am. I'm cool, but I think you can take it a step further, the same way cancel culture was, where it's like, okay, now I want to start doing this to 7-year-olds or 8-year-olds, where it's like I don't agree with, So
Right.
you everything has to have this line that you're towed, and really watch it,
I wanted to say something about the. Did you have something? My bad.
I was just
Okay. About the cancel culture. I think cancel culture, it's stupid to be a thing because to me it's a natural thing that doesn't need to really be a thing.
Yeah.
Like if we don't like something, we're probably not gonna really support it, right? So in the form of canceling something, if I don't support something, I'm just gonna make sure that I don't support that, right? Like if I love a podcast and then the podcast starts talking about stuff that's like completely against what I'm just gonna stop watching. I'm not, and enough people do that it's canceling in a natural way instead of somebody just saying, hey, cancel this, boom, 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 such a quick action.
Yeah.
Canceling happens naturally and we just don't really know it, or we don't really see it because it's a slower process, but it's really a natural thing.
And I was thinking about that because, like, I just went to go watch the new Bob Dylan movie today, right? I had no idea, and I've been a huge fan of Bob Dylan. I listened to him on 8 tracks in my dad's '69 Camaro.
Yeah.
Like, I love
I didn't know you had that.
Bob Dylan.
You should bring him out of the studio one day.
Yeah. And, but I didn't know, like, a lot of the figures that I look up to nowadays and that have persisted have always erred in the side of justice. And I feel like history remembers those who are just, genuinely just, and like Bob Dylan, he was a huge advocate for civil rights whenever, they were desegregating, and he got tons of flack for it because, dude, he was in the folk country music scene.
Yeah.
It was I don't even want to say predominantly, it was white scene, right? They didn't agree with him going and, black figures having talks about how they should have the same freedoms and rights as white people. They didn't support him in that. right? You know, so it's like, I feel like history remembers the people that are on the right side no matter what.
Yeah.
Right? And like you said, if you want to make change, I think the SJW route is not the way you should go. I don't think you should be a warrior for justice. I think you should just be just. I think you should promote those who are supporting what you want. Don't support the people who don't, but don't attack people.
Let natural selection play its part.
Because it will.
It will.
It
absolutely.
will,
It's proven over the years. Like you said, I mean, it's been proven that, like you said, what just will survive. That will.
And, you know, and I contradict myself all the time, but I'll say it again, you know, it's like, but then you also have the side of things where it's like, we didn't just wait for the Nazis to die out. We didn't just wait for, you know, like we actively had to go and put a stop to it. There is a line where it's like,
knowing when to put your foot down, really.
Yeah. When is action just, you know? But
morality was challenged, and it was also violence was incited. So that's very fair. People are getting hurt. That's when you draw a line.
So was you know, white mobs and stringing up black people. You know, so it's like, how do you put your foot down on those things? And that's what about, dude, I sound like a fucking glazer right now, but I'm genuinely speaking from the heart. That's why the civil rights movement was such an amazing thing, because none of it was used with violence. Like black people won their rights off of just speaking about, this is wrong. You know, and it took those figures. There was never, well, I don't want to say never, but there was hardly any violent riots that caused that. And you think that if a big change like that can happen without inciting violence, why are we turning to that now? Why is that?
I think it's kind of like a what's that scale called we use in school?
Legal scale.
Yeah, that has the two sides. That it's like a what's the thing at the playground?
Seesaw.
It's like that's the type of scale it is. Damn it!
That's just a scale, bro.
But it's a comparison. It's a comparison scale. It's not like a scale is just a scale. I'm talking about a comparison scale. Whatever the name is for
it's
it.
A legal scale, right?
I'm almost positive that's what it is.
I don't know. We're spending too much time on it. I'm forgetting what I was. God damn it, bro. So with the it's kind of like a scale, because it's like you put too much on the action side of things and you go too far and you do things that people aren't fond of, and then they're like, you may be fighting for good, but now you're looked at as bad because you took action too far. And then there's the speaking side where you can speak so loud, but with no action, it doesn't really do maybe what you wanted. So it's kind of like a scale of knowing where speaking is just and where that's what you need to do, and when action comes into play. And the action part is harder, because you can actions speak louder than words, and actions can bite you in the ass. You make the wrong decision on an action, that could be a lot more than just saying the wrong thing, right? You're actually doing something. So I think with all of anything, with any change, it's action and it's speaking, and it's a balance of it. You don't want to go too far, mm-hmm. like with the riots over the George Floyd thing. I'm totally for protesting and everything. As soon as businesses started getting burnt down, they're destroying people's businesses. A lot of them, which in that specific case, were also black businesses, which was totally ironic to me. But when businesses, homes, cars, possessions, whatever, when these things start getting attacked and all that, now I look at that, what was supposed to be protest as a riot, and it's like, now I can't support it because y'all took it too far. If it was just people in the street saying, hey, this is fucked up, what this guy did, cool,
it makes it blurry. It makes it blurry because you go, I see what you're
fighting for, but you're not doing it the right way. You're taking it too far.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing about us as people in general. We don't know how to protest or contest logic, theory, and things like that. People get upset and they want to fight. You're never going to resolve any issues fighting back. I mean, self-defense is one thing, I'm sorry. But the thing is, like, you riding in your own damn neighborhood, tearing up the grocery store right up the street from your house, you lose that battle every time and you look stupid. So it's like, did you go across town, uptown, and destroy stuff? No, they didn't. So I think when we can learn how to speak out on things that we don't like without creating violence, um, is more logical.
Well, it's like the CEO getting killed. Like, you got a whole camp of people that support that, and then you have a whole camp of people that are like, that. I mean, did he have a part to play in it? Of course. But killing him?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can support that.
Tooth and nail makes you look like the same person.
Yeah.
You know,
When you stoop down to them. So one of my favorite presidents, he's in the contest for being my first favorite president. Truman. Right? Truman's usually totally forgotten about in history, but dude, he is one. If you ever read about Truman, he's one of the most just people to ever walk this planet. Seriously, the dude was full of morality, and he took over presidency. He was unpopular, and at the worst time in history, I would argue, at the climax of World War II, right? And he had to make these decisions, and he was a stoic. He was a I would dare to say a sage. He's somebody that we should hope to be like, and I don't want to go into why he is, but look him up. He's amazing.
Harry S. Truman.
Yeah. And if you go and read about Truman, out of all of the things in his life that stood the test of time of being a good person, he was asked about he had to make the choice to drop the atomic bomb, right?
Yeah.
And he defended that, and he was like, that's one of the hardest morality questions that we still pose today is like, was it right? Was it wrong to drop it on Japan to kill innocent people? And, that was a form of about as brutal as it gets of action, right? That you have to take to end something that is considered as a whole being bad. Is he a good person? Is he a bad person? I don't know. That's still a debate. But, the way he looked at it was, he was like, way more of the innocent population of Japan was going to die, and untold amount of American soldiers and GIs were going to die if there was ever a land invasion of Japan. He goes, I wanted to nip that in the bud. So you have to line that balance. Is it a right thing that happened? No.
You remember the talk we had with Joey? This is on the top of my mind because I was just editing that video. Where you said something. Somebody said something about China being good at funding things or making other countries fund things so that they could be like, oh, hey, we're gonna deconstruct this or reverse engineer it. And it was either you or Joey making that point.
Yep.
It's kind of the same thing with taking action and what we're talking about. There has to be in a lot of cases, there has to be somebody to make that first step. And that's the most vulnerable step in doing something that you believe is right, but you're the first one taking that step in enforcing or doing something about it. This is why history is so important. I used to think history was not important at all. I'd hated history in school. I'd hated dates, names, all that. I'm like, who gives a fuck? Who did what? Just tell me whatever. But it is important because we do need to look back on the mistakes of those people and the good as well. But that's the tricky part is facing new situations, new problems, new things, even on a lower scale of things and on the grand scale. Somebody has to be the one to actually do it. And then other people usually learn afterward they were right or they were wrong. They were, and that's the scary part of being that person, to be the enforcer, to be the one to like make a decision, to be the one to, with anything, with saying, this is what we're going to do. Because again, you could think something's good and then the action you take is bad and it completely destroys.
It negates it.
Right.
It negates it.
Surely, my man. On that thought, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm starting to understand that the importance of history is that mankind, from the beginning of time to the ending, is a journey. No man is ever going to see the beginning and the ending in his lifetime. So wherever that ball was picked up at, somewhere in time, we're born into it and we're going to leave and it's going to keep going. Mm-hmm. So we have to understand, because we won't finish the race, which is part of it, the journey of mankind.
That's beautiful.
You have to understand, thank you. We have to understand, where we came from to understand where's that journey taking us as a whole unit. So
you're spawning in and not knowing the lore. You gotta like,
You know what I
mean? Right.
so much has happened before you that you have to learn from.
you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
spawn into the game and you go on this path, and like, where the hell are we going? Oh, that happened. So we was trying to get there. I'm gonna carry that ball until the end of my day, and someone else is gonna pick it up. So this is why I understand why history has to be known, or we just fall way off track of doing the right things. And
it creates a lot of issues of not knowing your history as well. Like it, when you don't have these scenarios and situations to look back on, no matter what category it falls in as far as what it was pertaining, knowing these things is beneficial to being knowledgeable politically, in business, and anything. Like I feel like history is, again, I as a kid was just like so uninterested, but now I'm like, this shit's cool as fuck because it all ties in. It's all part of, like you said, I loved how you said with the ball, it was picked up and it's just gonna keep, even after we leave, that thing's gonna keep going. And so it's important to know what was here before, what happened, where am I, what's the context to the game I'm in? You know, that's basically what it is.
Picture.
Yeah.
So we can look at the earth. And that's why they say everything you do for yourself, I don't care what accolades you have, because when you die, it's left. So whatever impact you thought you could have had on the world is nothing.
It's kind of like, my bad. It's kind of like a book. What do they call the, when they have a little dialogue in the beginning?
Are you talking about?
No, it's like a
preface.
It's basically like, I mean, that's what I would call like a preface to the book. It's basically giving you context before you actually...
Just a thought before you
really jump into the book. That's basically...
You get into the mind of the author.
Before, that's what I feel like life is like.
You know, in history, man, it's so cyclical. You know, it is always repeating itself. It's always... I feel like if you know your history, you can know the future. You can look and say... and that's what I was talking about, where it's like you see these signs of dying nations, right? They all exhibit the same signs.
Yeah.
They all every civilization that's right on the brink of collapse or right on the brink of a civil war or disagreement, I mean, you can see those signs and you go, if you know what you're looking for based on what's happened, you can go, I kind of see that starting to unfold, right?
Yeah.
And then you can look back and go,
you can almost predict the future.
How did we fix that? How did we, what happened? What led to it? How can we avoid that mistake again? And, you know, history to me, that's why it's so important to me and it should be to everybody. There are things that have not been done yet. Right? And social media, the internet adds a whole new little dollop that we're not playing with. We're not playing by the same rules as we have in the past, right? We can predict what things will happen, but now there's so many added things that it's cool. It's awesome. It's awesome because it's like, we're advancing faster than we've ever advanced before. But the sad part is like a good barometer. I thought about that there. A good barometer of where we're at as a civilization is our art. Every time period, you can look at their art and you can see what the people were going through, right? You can look at, if you look at the Baroque period, there was a time of free thinking, a time of change, a time of, but then you go back and you look at medieval, you see skeletons, you see death, you see hurt, you see pain, you hear it in their music, you see it in their art, you see it in every part of it. The sad part about today is I feel like the majority of our art is always doomsday. It's like in the 50s, 40s and 50s. We were looking towards the future. We saw flying cars. We saw, everything was space age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything was dreams of how beautiful our cities are going to look in the future, of how the family unit is going to be. We were looking towards a positive future. Now, man, it's like you see it now, and it's like we're told that, you know, climate change is going to kill us all. We're told that war is going to kill us all. We're told that our
AI is going to take over.
the AI, it's all negative futures. And you know, I it goes back to being positive. It does every time. At least if we're looking at the history, like we were talking about, it always goes back into the positive. The problem is there always has to be something absolutely tragic and terrible as a human race that occurs for us to get back on the same page, to want to build again. Every time, like whether it be a plague that wipes out, you know, 15-20% of the population, or a war that destroys, you know, nearly every country that in the world, you know, those huge moments are unifying for humanity, for us to go, okay, boom, reset, let's move forward again towards the positive. I hate to say it, but there's gonna have to be something that happens that, at least if we're going off of history, you know,
you just said
that brings us back.
Definitely, you know, and I'm trying not to go there. Let's just say maybe we're all spiritual guys. If not, it's okay. I'm just gonna say spiritual. I'm not gonna say religious.
Okay.
So most of us have understanding that whenever we get on our high horses and start doing a little too much, there always has to be a reset. So we get that concept by now. Every time mankind gets to acting up,
a humbling black swan comes in.
We have to recalibrate, right back to reset. Okay, let's try this shit again. So
as long as we don't wipe out the entire population.
Right.
Let's try this again.
So it appears America is one of the youngest world powers.
Yep.
We're getting to that point again where we're going off our own code. We're creating our own code and following our own rules. And it seems like we seem to not get it, to just follow the rules of mankind, morality and things like that.
We're doing the same thing France did, and you saw how many civil wars they had. I mean, how many revolutions did France have in order to get on the right path again and finally stay on it? You know, the inner turmoil is always what destroys a nation. Always. And, you know, sometimes you can end it with a revolution. Sometimes you can end it with a revolt. Sometimes you can end it with a civil war. Or sometimes it ends. That's just what happens. I mean, you look at dynasties, like the oldest dynasties in China. You know, Chinese dynasties lasted thousands of years. What brought them down? They didn't want to modernize. They stayed too traditional. I think we are moving in the opposite direction. I think we are moving away from our traditions. We're moving away from what actually created us great and what we were great at, which was, you know, the opportunity, the family unit, the safety. That we're moving away from that. And we're breaking our own rules, and it never ends well that way. It never does. But I don't know.
Ethics and morality, that's always been the name of the game. You follow it, normally good things come to you. And we're getting away from it, so I'm not afraid of what has to happen to recalibrate it. I feel like those who live in those codes, there's always something over us, you know what I mean? So I'm not afraid of it. Whatever has to happen, it needs to happen. But you just gotta follow those codes. As long as you're mortal, you need to follow it.
I think, and I am not a Mr. Get on the hillside and say that, you know, the end is near. You know, I'm not like that. But being a Christian, right, there's a lot of signs. There's a lot of signs of a hard reset that we're talking about. And I think it's going to be an unprecedented reset that history has not seen. I think it's going to be the biggest.
You think it's the big one, huh?
Possibly. There's a lot of signs. I won't go into it, but not even on the religious side of things. I think the technology that we have, it's all or nothing at this point. Like, if you look at nuclear war, none of us are.
I'm so glad you brought this up. I was about to bring it up myself.
You look at the technology side of things, and I'll keep the religious aspect out of it, even though I have some strong beliefs in that. But I think this is going to be our a Pompeii type of situation for us, where it's going to be, this is a world of sin, and we're going to destroy it on our own.
I'm liking where you're going with this, because I was gonna bring up something with I'm glad you brought up the whole Christian thing, and I'm not trying to dive into religion or anything like that, but I wanted one point that I wanted to say, because we were talking about almost being our own doom. I think there are signs, and I'm kind of on the same page with you with all that. I think this is the one thing I'm gonna kind of touch on with religion. I think, like, with religion, like my grandma, she's always like, we're in end times, and all this, boom, boom. I'm like, maybe. But, it was kind of written about, we don't know when the end's coming, so even bringing religion, there's no end that we know of at a specific time. There's signs, but there's no specific time. So I'm like, we have to live like there is, I don't know if it would be if there is no end or what, but it's
towards the future,
right? Not getting caught up in this is just a sinful world, everything's, and I've gotten caught up in that. And I've found that reflected on my life of me being lazy, not having much motivation to do stuff, is because I get caught up in the mindset that a lot of people around me were in, where it's like, this is end times, like, where are we going from here? Boom. It's almost like you can't see the end of the tunnel. It's kind of where the point they get to. And so they're the end times, and I'm like, just live though, like, you have to disregard that to a certain point of, we still have to look at the future, because as soon as we say that there's the end of the tunnel, doomsday, like, we're going to destroy ourselves, because at that point, what are we even living for? You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like makes a full circle. So I was glad you brought that up, because I feel like you have to always live for the future.
I think as I'm finally getting a little older, I'm finally starting to understand my own identity. I'm starting to understand what I believe in.
What you think?
And I've lived the material world. I have, I have nice things, right? I've lived with somebody who has had everything you possibly want, the most amount of money, and the thing that kills the soul is the loneliness.
Yeah.
Right? You can have everything, but have nothing at the same time.
Yeah.
As a man, I'm finally starting to develop my principles of how I want to live my life. They're finally starting to take shape, and I've been molding them for so long. And this is I don't want this to be a therapy session. Right?
You're good, bro. But you're good.
You
let it be. I don't care.
I think there's nothing more important when you strip everything off of me and you take me down to just a.
Knocked himself out.
Did he?
I'm sorry.
How was that?
I forgot to tell him that the door locks itself when he goes out. You're all good, boss. Sorry, guys, for that interruption.
I think when I finally realized that when you strip me down to just what I am, which is just a body and a soul, right? It's going to be up to me of what my worth is.
Yeah.
Right? And I think you can't. I think everything that we should strive for should be to strive to make sure that our family and ourselves are taken care of, for sure. And I think there are principles that we should, abide by for that. But I also think that as a human, we have to take care of each other. And if you think it's end times and you think the end is like everything's about to be over, I think it's more of a reason. It's not less of a reason to live well. Right. It's more of a reason to live well and to take care of the people around you and be giving, be loving, show
especially
affection.
If you live in that security. If you live in that security, you're just like, end times are coming, I'm good. If it's a religious thing, like, I'm good. Like, so then you would live for the future. Like, yeah.
What do you have to be scared of if you live well and you leave this earth sooner? Right?
And do
what
the
do you have
best
to be
you
scared
can.
of?
And do the best you can, because as a human, we all know we can't do everything.
I don't think you should turn to, the end is coming. It does no rules. There's no reason that I should act well because there's nothing I'm going to be going towards. No, what you're going towards is this moment. What you're going towards is living the best. I give you shit, right? I give you shit because I love you.
Yeah.
Right? That's the way we communicate.
Absolutely.
Right? I don't do that with everyone else.
Most people I've lost friends because I talk to them the way I talk to you, and it's you gotta find somebody that works.
You understand it, right? You understand it, but and I hope everyone at this table knows, including you, Ked, that if you called me and you were at your lowest moment, and I'm at my lowest moment as well, I'm gonna do everything in my power to give you everything that I can give you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that's not. Oh, Cam's a good person. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying if we all were like that, we are going to build an excellent future, even if it's a short future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we all care for each other and we love each other and we practice what we truly preach, right? I don't think we have anything to be afraid of.
I can't see any negative outcome from it. There's only the end of the tunnel at that point. There is no.
We're in it. You're already out of the tunnel, man. It may not feel like it, but if we can live well, it doesn't have to be for long.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question?
Go ahead.
What is the time frame I was going for with this episode? Do we have time to? We have time to turn to
turn the subject.
Yeah.
What do we have?
Guys? No. Okay, wait. Do that. I don't want to get off this yet.
Yeah.
I was just wondering because
we forgot we had dominoes in front of us.
Eventually, I gotta put my own
on-game show. Let's play some
Okay.
games.
Eventually, I'm gonna put my own season on it. I just wanted to. It's a thought I want to say. Literally piggybacking off what you said. I wish I could remember right now where I heard this from, but it was ringing so loud as you was talking. I think where we've gone wrong, and especially from a religious perspective, and guys, be honest, social media is filled with bullshit talk all day, every day. Everybody shooting the shit, talking about nothing. Watch women twerk, talking about sports, bullshit. So I think if you want to talk about religion, that's completely fine. At least be somebody that's talking on whatever subject. But again, I say spiritual concepts. I'm Christian, but I'd like to say spiritual.
Being inclusive, I love it. I love it. So, we're inclusive over here.
I think it's okay to take a moment on your own platform.
We'll make fun of you all the same.
Everybody talk about everything else. When do we?
I make fun of white people too. Okay.
When do we talk about morality? You know what I mean? Who's gonna talk about it on that platform? But I do want to say this, piggybacking off of exactly what you said. There's a guy I remember said we spend more time trying to impress people and serve God. I said, okay. Yeah, I said, yeah, that sounds about right. Mm-hmm. He said, when we learn to flip it, we'll find a formula to peace.
Impress God and serve people.
Impress God. We focus on God. I'm trying to do this, what you said I should do. And, maybe I'll get your graces. I get around people and you want to impress them. This is what we get into material things. Oh, I do the Christian thing better than you, man. Look, I don't drink, you drink, man. I'm trying to impress God, man. Well, I'm trying to impress y'all, so I'm walking a more narrow path, and I know God. God likes that. So it's like, you flip it, you impress God when you serve others. The things like just showing love, helping others when people are down, picking them up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think that was the most beautiful thing I've ever heard recently. At least so far. When you try to serve others, you impress God. So we spend so much time like trying to, hey man, you paying attention? Like, hey, I'm gonna get some cool points off of this if you don't, I hope you're paying attention. Just do the right things. As you was just speaking of morality. And what is pride? You know what I mean? Pride is, to me, when you're showing that you're not a piece of shit person. When you take pride in something, you want to do it the best you can. You stand on it. You know what I mean? You keep it polished. Mm-hmm. It's pride. Having pride in something is carrying it on your back, making it look good, make sure that it's admirable. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I'm fine with pride, A
big thing that and to go off of what you were saying,
mm-hmm.
Marcus Aurelius to me is a huge Stoic sage that I look up to. You know,
I gotta look into this guy. You brought him up a couple times.
Yeah.
I gotta look into him.
So one of his best quotes is quit arguing what a good man is and be one. Right? And I, in my past, including now, sometimes I wrestle with exactly what you were talking about. Whereas, like, I know what to do, right? But having the character integrity to do it is difficult. It's very difficult, and it's just as important as doing the right thing when no one's looking versus when you have an audience, right? Or your friends are looking to you or anything like that. You know, it's just as important, you know, because, you know, whether it just be, even for yourself, like I feel as if, you know, it's just as important for the people who don't believe in our audience, right? I feel like God is with me and leading me down a path, but even if you don't, do it for yourself. Like, feel good. You never feel better than doing the right thing and then getting in good trouble for it.
Yeah.
If you stand up for what is right and you know it's right, dude, you'll never lose. It doesn't matter if they put you to death. Like, you didn't lose. You know,
how strong is your belief in that? And that it's good. I mean, if you truly believe to your core that what you did is good, there's nobody can do anything to take that away. Like, it's just like, you know, at the end of the day, this is good. And I think we all have that in us. Like, you always say, we all have at the end of every pod, be good. You know what that feels like. Like, we all know what it feels like. You know, and then
we're born with it.
Nobody can really take that away. I mean, yeah, we can be proven wrong and thinking, oh, this is the right thing to do. And then maybe later find out it's wrong. But there's certain things that it's just like, you just know in your heart.
Yeah, and then even in that, practicing humility.
It's like a hill I would die on, you know?
Yeah. I mean, learning that you did something wrong, even though you did something was right. One, nothing was done wrong. If you were believing in something that you think was right and doing the right thing to help people, you know, and the podcast that we talked about where we had my dad on, you know, we were talking about terrorist acts.
Yeah.
And those people believe that something is right. You know, I understand that too. I think it's in the whole. I think when Christians only want to take care of Christians, Jewish people only want to take care of Jewish people, Muslim people only want to take care of Muslim people, or even atheist people only want to take care of themselves, we all lose.
Yeah.
We all lose. When you go after those people that are different from you only because they're different from you and they don't believe in you, you know that's not right. You should. You know what I mean?
It's a huge game of divide and conquer at that point. I mean, it's division is the separation of people, bro. Like
it's not having the whole picture.
Right. Like
it's really not.
That's why I love to always bring up I don't want to bring up anything too
say what you want.
I personally don't think that somebody who worships Muhammad is going to hell. I don't personally believe. Like, I look at, even from, I have said this before, I classify with Christianity, that is the religion that aligns with my beliefs and what I see the most, but I still don't ever let that disregard other religions, other peoples, other whatever, because I just genuinely don't think I can ever wrap my head around other people on the other side of the world because they don't believe what I believe not mattering as much. You know what I'm saying? And like, I can't fathom myself. I can't fathom a God or anything of it. We're all equal. The reason they believe what they believe is because they grew up in this place. I maybe believe what I believe because I grew up here, where predominantly Christianity is the whatever. I'm not trying to make this a huge religious debate. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, division, as soon as you start dividing and as soon as you say, oh, everybody who doesn't align with this is doomed, everybody who isn't this color on their skin is doomed. Like, I can't align with any of that because as soon as you exclude people, I think everybody, we're all part of this big pot. Like we're all in it. No matter what you believe, no matter if you're gay, no matter if you're trans, no matter anything. Like I just feel like at the end of the day, there is people who do bad, there's people who do good, all this stuff. But as far as when it comes to religion, skin color, political beliefs, everything, everybody matters. And I know I'm kind of ranting now, but I was speaking on all of this because we were talking about the division. And I feel like we cannot divide ourselves too much. We already have divisions that are kind of in place for us, such as the religion and such as the skin color. Like, we will never be the same skin color. That can't change.
That's fine.
But we have to destroy the division. Like, there just can't be division. We have to find a way to all be one, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like,
For sure.
not have this whole division of countries and all this,
Right.
like...
You're right.
Acceptance and forgiveness is what we need more of.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the word.
And,
I'm sorry, were you gonna...
No. I mean, you know, I think I've made very clear how I feel on several, you know, this podcast, several podcasts, you know, previous to this one.
Yeah.
I just think, I think you owe it to yourself to be, us as men here, we have a role and a responsibility, and I think we have to take that seriously. And same with a woman. I don't think, you know, a woman is any different than what a man is. I don't think a black man is any different than what a white man is. I think we all owe it to ourselves and to the future to be the best person we can be. And when we are the best people that we be and we feel that. And I was having a conversation with a client of mine 2 days ago.
Oh, the client. Whew.
Yeah.
That was getting deep.
Well, and they were talking about how they were scared that he's a fellow Stoic. I actually want to bring him on. He's a great guy. His son is wanting to do a podcast as well. He's terrified. He said his biggest fear is that his son is not going to be able to take care of his family, because he's kind of the glue, like this guy is. His son is not going to be able to take care of the family the way he took care of them. And I said, it's not my place. I said, but if I could put my 2 cents in, I don't think that's his responsibility. I think what the responsibility of you as a father is to raise him to where he is confident, he is strong, he has the right moral character, he knows what's good and bad, you know, and if you send him out in the world knowing that, he doesn't have to drive a Mercedes or keep the same lifestyle as anybody else that you know that you have provided for in your family.
So that's the glue he was talking about. Okay.
He's the glue financially and you know everything like that. So, but I'm like, I don't think you should be scared at all. I'm like, you are a good man. Just from him, you know, the brief, you know, real recognize real.
Some of the most wise old men I've ever met in my life were broke as shit.
Yeah.
Because you don't always get awarded financially for being good. Most of the time you don't. Actually, I feel like.
Have I mentioned Diogenes?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, same thing. It's like you just to reiterate, he was a philosopher, and the Roman emperor came to him, the most powerful person in the world at that time, and asked him like, hey, you believe in so much of what you believe in, and I respect that. I will grant you anything you want. And he goes, I just want you to get out of my shade.
Oh, yes.
Like, I don't need anything from you.
I just didn't remember his name.
Yeah, like I'm already a good person. I have everything I need.
Yeah.
You know, but I think if we constantly have to practice that. And as long as we do that, it doesn't matter what other material gains we have. And I think everyone else is going to benefit from that if you're the best person you can be.
Absolutely.
Is my whole point.
Guys, on that
you
note,
speak so beautifully.
On that note, let's play some games. Guys.
Let's do some games.
Yeah. So, real quick, off camera, table camera's dead.
Oh.
Or table camera has no storage. Table camera's out of storage. I also have a dinner with my girlfriend's family at 6 p.m. What time is it right now?
5:20. 5:25.
Y'all want to wrap this up?
Personally, I do. We're at about an hour and a half, hour 45. I know we didn't play a game.
Good ass conversation.
That sucks. The conversation
I know,
was
that's
amazing.
like.
I would love to keep going, but I have to get to that dinner, and we have to deal with the storage problem as well. We also still have to offload our clips after we're done shooting. So
Slide on.
I hate to be the boomer that's like killing the game right now.
Damn.
I was totally with you, dude. I know. We gotta play the game. But...
No.
Well,
Fuck my show.
Bro,
wow.
You let us roll for an hour and a half with no game, bro.
He tried to ring it in a few times.
He did, absolutely.
He did.
The conversation was great, bro. I honestly, I feel like, yes, we've had.
I wish we got more out of you, man.
He was just trying to reel it in. He was like, guys, the game show, on game.
Guys, we're so sorry we didn't play games. We got a little carried away with the conversations we had. Sly, please bring us home. I want you to wrap up with some of your thoughts and then a closeout. Can we get that from you?
I think so. Guys,
Don't be mad at me.
I think you guys all touched on some really good points when it comes to morality. I think morality is like the biggest point that we're all hitting.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to be a good person, not just for yourself, but for other people.
Absolutely.
You know, and no matter what you're doing in life, just make sure you're doing it the right way. I think that's the biggest thing that y'all are all touching on, is doing things the right way. Yeah, I think that's all I got.
Well,
That's all I got.
for the sake of the camera, I'll do a cheers to that. I'll chug this drink down just for the video. Damn, this could be a long chug, huh?
And Kev, we love having you on. Thank you so much for coming back on it. It's been,
Keep
while.
going.
Been a while.
I gave you a
And
drum
you'll
roll and
never
everything.
come back if you don't finish that drink.
Never come back, bro. Finish that shit.
Wonderful.
Beautiful.
Time to go drive.
Oh, no. Woo! He's getting an Uber, guys.
Actually, I'm taking him. So we're good.
Again, apologies for not playing the game, guys. I hope that all of you enjoyed the conversation enough that you're not mad at us for that. I definitely enjoyed the conversation. I think everything went great. We touched on a number of different topics. I think we stayed on topic pretty well on each of them and touched them or spoke about them as much as we needed to close them out. And I think we stayed on track that whole time.
And this podcast is named the On Game Show, not just because we're playing games on here, but we're putting you on game too. So please take something from this and apply it to your life. Even if you knew everything we talked about, just that little 1% that you could be better each day. Just try to shoot for that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Please please subscribe, get us out there. We want to talk to as many people as we can.
Absolutely.
And
I want to talk to Elon, bro. Come on, put us out there.
Yeah, let us interview him and see if we'll
do it right.
Salute or not.
We will do it right. All right.
Yeah, but thank you again. We'll see you next week. Be a good one. You know what that feels like, and we'll catch you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Peace out.